restore breathing, and prepare a SKED for transportation. So if anybody remembers CPR, anybody remember that? Anyone done that one task before? All right, this is CPR, except for there's no fucking CPR. Okay, so it's changed. So you still go through the beginning's very similar if you've done CPR, very similar. You insert the NPA, and that works. It restores the breathing. So you don't have to go into all the chest compressions or any of that nonsense. Then you're gonna get a SKED code, put them on that, and prepare it for hoist, right? So you can lift off and be saved, okay? So the sequence I'd say is a little bit easier. The time. So the time's 8 minutes and 30 seconds. It's a little bit tight, not like you gotta be hauling ass tight, right? But it is, I say you gotta be moving at a moderate pace, okay? So keys to success is obviously just learning the sequence, because if you know the sequence, then everything else just speeds up. So today, just focus real hard on getting that sequence down and what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to say, and then after that, the time will come with it. But it is something to keep in the back of your head that if you're dragging feet, the time's going to disappear pretty quickly, right? Because especially people who aren't used to using the SKED, the good news is you have the SKED for here and here, although some of the steps are a little different because EIB. So, okay. Everybody's seen my holding area located over there where all your bags are. This is my training area where we are now. My testing area, which is doubling down as a training area for today, is located in the tent behind us. I have 4 lanes set up there. And on the opposite side of my tent is my retrain area, okay? So in the unfortunate event that you do become a no-go, you'll be escorted to that retrain tent. You'll spend a minimum of 15 minutes there to a maximum of an hour, okay? The reason we do the 15 minutes is if you get a no-go, and then you're kind of flustered and pissed off, you're like, I know the task, I'm gonna go right back into it, and then you double no-go. We want to avoid that, give you a chance to reset. Okay, get my mental drills in, get our physical rep in. Okay, now I'm ready to go. Go back in and get your go, okay? And then a maximum of an hour, so if you're hiding away in there because you're nervous to go again, I'm gonna come grab you at that hour mark. I'm gonna pull you out and force you to test at that time, okay? Now, if you protest, the protest will come to me. You know, if you are a funny person, you can make me laugh, then you win the protest, right? I'm joking, okay? But if you have a good protest, it'll come to me, and I'll say it's good, then you get to retest, that no-go goes away, so like it never happened, and then hopefully you get your go on that second attempt. If for whatever reason I say no, it'll go up to First Sergeant Phillips, who is the medical lane NCOIC, right? If he says good, then it doesn't matter what the fuck I said. Now it's his word, he's good to go, you can retest, your no-go disappears like it never happened, you get to test again, okay? But if he says no for whatever reason, then that's where it stops. You can't protest past the medical lane NCOIC, so the buck will stop there, okay? When you show up on test day, you're gonna walk up, my grader's gonna read you the task conditions and standards like normal, and then he's gonna say, do you have any questions? And you're gonna say, yes. Can I downgrade? And he's gonna say, yes, you can downgrade. You can downgrade your iPro, your gloves, and your weapon. So eyes, hands, weapon, okay? I highly suggest you at least do the gloves and the weapon because it's easier to work with the straps and the friction adapters with your bare hands than it is the gloves. And then as far as the weapon, you know, if you have it slung to you and you're working over the casualty and then somehow it's like slung to your back and then it falls forward and hits the casualty, some craziness like that, then it could be causing further harm to the casualty, which you have heard all day long. We're just going to eliminate that possibility altogether, right? If it's not slung to you, then you can't do it. Okay, so helps you out just a little bit. All right. Any questions for the administrative portion of this brief? Okay, so I'm going to pass it off to my grader. He's going to go over the task condition standards and the step-by-steps for y'all.
You'll probably still get hit by SKED right there. Task: perform first aid to restore breathing of an unconscious casualty and prepare transport of a casualty using a hoistable SKED basic rescue system. Condition: you're in an operational environment and you have to perform first aid to restore breathing and package the casualty in a SKED litter for transport. You have a hoistable SKED with the litter strap or the hoist straps, a D-ring, a BLS bag with 2 MPAs, and lube. Standard: transport a casualty using a hoistable SKED basic rescue system while adhering to all warnings and caution without error using the task go, no-go checklist, prior to performing all tasks to standard in sequence within 8 minutes and 30 seconds without causing further injury to the casualty. So how you're going to start is you're going to approach the casualty and check for responsiveness.
Hey, are you conscious?
The grader will state the casualty is unresponsive. At that point, you're going to ask for two things,
You get a medic, you get an AED.
and those will be in order. So he's going to raise that near arm above the head. Make sure the legs are together and straight. C-grip the neck, scoop under the casualty's arm, and pull him over with the head aligned with the torso. Then, once he lowers that arm, and his arms are together, the grader will state the casualty appears to not be breathing. So you're going to check. So that's a palm on the forehead, index finger and middle finger underneath the bony part of the chin, and then he's going to put his ear down by the mouth, looking down the chest, and state,
Checking 15 seconds for breathing.
grader will respond, casualty is not breathing. So at that point, you're going to return the head to a neutral position. Make sure you verbalize that in case we miss it. Then you're going to go into your BLS bag. You have a green and a clear NPA. Just always grab the green one and your lube. He's going to measure, lube, and then pig nose him, which is just taking his thumb to raise the nose slightly, bevel to septum through the right nostril, and insert the NPA notionally. And then once you do that, you can just set it off to the side. So after he does that, he's going to see if it worked. He's going to, same thing, palm on the forehead, index finger, middle finger under the chin, ear down, and he's going to state,
Checking 15 seconds for breathing.
and then the grader will state casualty is breathing. Once you get that, you know you're ready to package up your casualty. So he's going to grab a SKED and start to prep it. We have two types of SKEDs. We have the friction adapter SKEDs and the Cobra clips. We have a majority of friction adapters, and those are more difficult SKED to use. So I would recommend practicing on those primarily, so you get used to them, because the Cobra clips are a lot faster. And that's what the demo will be here. So the SKED's always going to be rolled with the foot end out first. So you have to step on the foot end, unroll the SKED, bend it, then you're going to step on the head end and bend it. Beyond that, you can do whatever else you want to unroll the SKED, but really, once you do that, you don't need to do anything beyond that. You're just going to be wasting your time, because once you put it under the casualty, you can use your heels to unroll the SKED as you pull the casualty on. So as long as you do at least what he just did and is currently doing, you'll be fine. So he's going to slide the foot into the SKED under the casualty's head, get it as deep as you can, and then he's going to pull the casualty on until his shoulders are approximately at those grommets where the SKED begins to taper. That's to make sure the head portion is where he needs to be for later.
Yeah. And then my suggestion, you don't have to do this, but when you're coming off, step on the back of it, because some of them are really rolled up. So if this comes up and smacks the casualty in the head, it'd be a no-go for further injuring the casualty. So I would just step off of it, bend it back a little bit, and then there you go. You won't have to worry about injuring the casualty on that.
We don't care how you pull the casualty on. You can do it by the arms, do it how they want you to on care under fire. It really doesn't matter as long as you're not causing further harm. All right, so he's going to grab those handles, pinch the SKED closed. That's just so as he's doing his cross straps, he isn't fighting against the tension. So he's going to lace all 4 cross straps. When he's doing these cross straps, he's getting them nice and tight and snug, but he doesn't want them to be too tight, because later on, when he's putting his hoist straps in, if they're too tight, it's going to be difficult to get them in through the casualty's arms. So once he's laced all 4 cross straps, and only after he has laced all 4 cross straps, he will go through and do half hitches on all 4 cross straps. He'll show you what a half hitch looks like.
You just come under, make a loop, and then you'll pull the excess through, and then you tuck it into the SKED.
I will say it again, because no matter how many times I say it, I still get questions after. You cannot do any of the half hitches until you have laced all 4 cross straps. You have to lace all 4 cross straps, then do your half hitches. You cannot do any half hitches until all 4 cross straps are done. So once he's got all the half hitches done and excess secured in the SKED, he's going to move on to his foot straps. You do not have to cross them, and we recommend you do not cross them on this one. They're just going to go in line in that first grommet closest to the 4th cross strap. And same process, he's going to lace both before he does any half hitches. Again, securing the excess in the sked. Once he's done that, he's going to go over to his sked bag and grab his hoist straps. You have a head strap and a leg strap. You also have a D-ring in there. This would be a good time to go ahead and secure it in your pocket or clip it to your flick. So the head strap is slightly shorter and is labeled in black lettering on one end as head strap. So the best thing to do is just hold them up together. Whichever one's shorter, that's your head strap. He's going to slide it under the back of the sked, making sure that his carry handle is not getting tangled up in it. So we like to just put all of the carry handle inside the sked hood with the Casualty. You have angled slots around the third and first cross strap. The angled slots are what you're going to feed them through. There's also ones that have circular slots. Never put them through those horizontal slots on the sked. So he's pulling it through. He's going to check and see, make sure he has even length on both sides, adjust as needed, then he's going to feed them through. Once he's fed them through, he's going to make sure they're even again. So you don't have to make sure they're even before you put them in the slots, but you must make sure they're even afterwards. But as you see here, once they're in the slots, adjusting them is a lot more difficult. So we recommend checking before you even put them in the slots. After he's done with the hoist straps, he's going to go over to his the head of his litter and adjust his carrying handle so that the hood of the litter is over the forehead of the Casualty, but not in contact with his skin. So if you've never touched the carrying handle before, it's a 2 grommets that has a loop that goes, it comes in one, loops around one, and then comes back out the same way it went in the first one. So that creates 2 loops, and you pull on the outside loop to get it to tighten. Just get some hands on with it today, and it'll make all the sense. All right, he's going to take his carrying handle, slide that plastic handle down to get it out of his way. It just helps you out, not a performance measure. And then he's going to half hitch it to the second cross strap and then tuck away his excess. Once he's done with that, he's going to route his D-ring. It goes head, leg, leg, head. You can do it whichever head strap, doesn't matter which one you start with, as long as you go in the pattern of head, foot, or head, leg, leg, head. Once he's routed those in a circle, he's going to lock down his D-ring and then conduct his safety checks. So his checks are going to be in sequence: the cross straps, leg straps, and then the next 3 are all in one step. You're going to pull up on your D-ring. You're going to make sure your head strap is actually in the head strap position. You're going to make sure they're even, and then that your D-ring is locked. And once he's done that, he's going to state something along the lines of,
Casualty's ready for pickup.
and then that is what will stop your time. All right, do we have any questions on this lane or station? Yep.
Is there any situation, like if there's a twist or a bend in the strap, is that a no-go criteria?
No, nothing in the book says anything about twist. So if you have a twist in your strap, as long as all the other performance measures are met, you'll be fine. Yeah, here in the station, if it's not in black and white, we're not adding to this lane, all right? Everything that we say that's not in black and white is just to help you out. Any other questions?
No packing the bag then too.
Yeah, no, because imagine this is going on a bird, so if you pack the bag in with them, that bag's gone. So if that helps you remember not to put it in there.
Cool.
Yeah, once you get your stuff out of the bag, just forget it's even there.
Sorry, how fast have you seen people do this?
Grader-wise or candidate-wise?
Candidate.
It's usually above 10 minutes right now. But also, like, we haven't really been timing everyone. Most of it's been walkthroughs. I've only timed, like myself, I've only timed one person, or 2 people, and one was like 13 and one was 15. So, but today, just worry about the sequence. The speed will come with time. Once you get down the NPA portion in the beginning, that's what eats up a lot of time right now, is just walking through the NPA portion. But once you're like good on it, then it takes like a minute to do that part. Then you have the full 7.5 to do this.
Because once I got comfortable with it to present to the committee, I got it around usually 7:40 or like 7:15ish. So you do have time. Because once you know the sequences, it'll speed up a lot.
You're gonna be moving.